So I'm listening to this book, and I wish I had it in paper copy so that I could share some of the pages with you. But I'll just give you some clips from it. Basically, it's called How to Have More Fun, and she talks about how a lot of us today have a Puritan's mindset. And basically, if you're having fun, you're not being productive, you're not being a part of the team, this and that. And then she also talks about how soldiers coming home were so loyal, and they have this loyal soldier mindset that when they come home, they don't really know what to do. They have a hard time adjusting. And taking both of these into account, she talks about how we need to rest our loyal soldier, we need to retire him, and we need to thank him for his service. And we need to thank our loyal soldier for that time that was so needed, that got us through that moment, that got us through that dramatic experience, or who pushed through to get us to a place where we needed to be. And that we need to retire our Puritan spirit, and we need to learn how to have fun, and how there will always be more to do in a day, always, always, but being just not letting ourselves have fun, it will eventually kill us. And she comes up with this little idea of going to the dollar store, buying a little toy soldier and painting it bright pink and putting it in your underwear drawer, or putting it out in the kitchen, wherever, it doesn't matter, just somewhere that you can see it daily, to remind yourself that you might have had years where years or days or whatever, just a time period in your life, maybe half of your life was work and pushing through to get out of your situation, or to help someone else through a situation, or whatever it was. Just the upbringing that you had maybe was this way. But that got you through that moment, and that got you to where you are now. But now it's okay for you to have fun. And just some things that she talks about. I'm not through very much of it yet, but ironically, she talks about how sharing ridiculous experiences with people brings bondage, oh my gosh, bondage, are you kidding me? Brings bonding, oh my gosh, brings bondage, brings bonding, and how we just bond in our friendships is by bonding over just these crazy experiences. And how I posted recently about how I, being a mom, I don't want that to hold me back from having fun experiences and going to the trampoline park and this and that. And I shared how I deal with it personally, having bladder incontinence or this or that. As most moms know, that's an issue. After you have a kid, that your pelvic floor muscles just aren't the same. You have a baby that came through the birth canal and did a lot of damage there. And you can do everything you can to try to overcome that, but whatever, things just are the way they are. But so I thought it was interesting that she promotes sharing just crazy, ridiculous experiences with each other as a way to bond with your friends and this and that. And because they can be just ridiculous experiences, she talks about this one woman who, she was sitting on the counter and she was giving herself a foot soak, and she, I don't know, somehow burned her butt. I don't exactly know what happened, whatever, I probably wasn't listening best. But just how she got that email, and how just hearing about that and hearing about that crazy situation, it just put a bonding moment in their friendship. Or about how this other woman, she wanted to compete in this like triathlon, and her friends showed up for the race and they were just ridiculously dressed in boas and this and that so they wouldn't be missed in the crowd. And at the end of the race, you know, she just could not do it, and they jumped in the water wearing their crazy outfits, and they couldn't touch her because then she'd be disqualified from the race. But just having them jump in the water like helped her continue on and finish the race. But it is the ridiculous things in life that are just, they're not for the serious, because, you know, serious stuff is all about, you know, getting things done and doing the best we can do. And I definitely have fallen into that. And that happens to people. It happened to me. It happened to, you know, I can't have time for fun. Like, how can we be doing this right now when I have so much housework, or I have to get myself to a place that I feel safe. And in times like that was necessary and that was needed to get through those moments. And I'm thankful for my loyal soldier, and I'm thankful for my Puritan heart in those times and those circumstances. But, now I need to rebuild a different part of myself, and that's the person who can have fun and who can make life fun for people. So she also talks about how, are you the parent who picks your kids up every day, you know, and just picks them up, asks them how their day is, drops the other kids off, or this or that. Like, maybe just randomly one day, why don't you wear a bright green wig to pick up your kids? And it reminded me of this video of this mom who comes to pick up her kids, and she's like blowing a horn, and she's just totally embarrassing her kids, and she's like, these are my kids, blah, blah, blah. Are my kids here, da, da, da. Anyways, but that's the kind of life that I want to have. I want to have the crazy, ridiculously fun life, so that it can energize me to be productive and have fun. And I really fell out of that. I started judging myself because other people were judging me, and it really just came down to, like, I was ashamed of some choices that I had made, when honestly they were still really good choices. Like, I look back now in buying this house, and holy crap, if anyone knows anything about the real estate market right now, like, I chose a perfect time in the grand scheme of things to buy. And I would never, you know, well, in some ways, I wouldn't be able to afford this house now. And my home is well worth, you know, way more than I have, you know, than it was when I bought it. And yes, it was stressful, but like ultimately what added to the stress was my fear of just not being able to make it, and scared that, like, oh my gosh, I just have to push through every single day and get more and more done because, like, I have to sell, or I have to, you know, do this, or I, you know, just everything, or the stress of dating, and oh my gosh, I have to be in the best shape of my life if I'm going to find the person that I want to be with, or just I have to have all my finances in order because, you know, oh my gosh, like, if I have any debt, or I don't know, just all these things that, you know, I made myself do, because it's like, well, if I want to be with someone if I want to surround myself with these people that are good, like, I have to be that type of person too, and I can't be lacking in anything, and ultimately, like, it makes me, like, look down on other people for, like, not achieving amazing things, and it makes me look down on myself, and I've been talking to some of the girls that are just in my recovery support groups, or just different things like that, and it makes me realize, like, just how judgmental I am of myself. Like, I don't look at myself and have confidence, and part of that is probably because of such abusive relationships that I've been in, or just all of that, just situations that I've been in. But I look at my life, and I don't typically look in the mirror and think, like, wow, you're pretty, or I don't look around at my house and think, like, damn, I've gotten a lot done, and, like, oh, wow, like, I'm proud of myself. Like, I don't typically have that confidence, or even the security to be like, I've done enough today. Now it's time for me to, like, have some fun time, or whatever. Even when I have this fun, it's like, pressured fun. Like, okay, now I have to have fun. Like, I have to set this stuff down and go have to have fun. And then that causes pressure of like, oh my gosh, I have to have fun right now. And if I'm not having fun, like, oh no, like what's happening? And like, there's just a lot. So I'll keep updating you with what I'm learning, but, it's interesting. I found for sure the thing very helpful of praising the soldier, but yet putting him to rest. Praising the loyal Puritan heart, but putting it to rest, you know, and retiring it, you know, praising it. And she talks about how these soldiers were they were given a huge ceremony, and awards and tokens and badges and all these things. And they were praised highly, and they were thanked for their service so incredibly, because it was so essential and because it was so needed in those moments, and because of, you know, how necessary and needed it was. We have a hard time getting out of that and realizing like it's not necessary and needed now. Like it was in that moment, and we're so thankful for that. And I'm so thankful for myself that I was able to be that person in those moments, but I can retire that loyal soldier now. And just giving myself that. And it's even harder when you don't have anyone to give you that ceremony or congratulate you or to be appreciative of you. You have to find it within yourself. And that's, I think, what my hardest part is either accepting the praise and the approval and the appreciation, or not hearing the praise or approval or appreciation. And learning to find it within myself, and waking up and validating myself daily, looking at myself daily and being like, you are gorgeous. Or even not even looking at myself in the morning and just being like, Kayla, your body is healthy enough. And you are able to use your body and do what you want to do with it. And you are good, and you have goodness in you. And, you know, you have done enough, and you're in a good spot. And just how hard that is on a daily basis to do that for myself, when it's not the words that I've heard growing up, or it's not the words that I've had placed in my head from other people. You know, when you live in a constant state of hearing negative stuff about yourself all your life, it's not enough. Having a couple people here and there on Facebook telling you like, good job, I'm proud of you. Like when you live with something that's opposite of that. And so I have to somehow learn to change my mindset when I'm alone, because when I'm alone is when I reflect, not intentionally, but it's when those voices come up, and it's like the majority wins sometimes. The majority of the voices that you've heard over your life win, and they overplay the other ones. And so if the majority of your life you've heard like bad things about yourself, those voices creep back in, and so it's choosing to ignore those, and choosing to not even ignore them, but choosing to, before you hear them, speak to yourself by saying, you know, whatever I do today, I know I'm going to be proud of myself. Or I'm going to choose to be proud of myself today. Whether that's laying in bed and taking a rest day, whether that's, you know, going out to the trampoline park, whether that's making a video for Facebook to learn more about you or to inspire other people, whatever I do today, I'm going to choose to be proud of myself, because I'm a person worth being proud of. And then just listing things that you can be proud of for yourself. Like, I can be proud that I still have a home. I thought I was going to lose it last year. I've done, you know, a lot of terrible things. Just not focusing on those things, but focusing on the positive things, and not caring about those voices that I have in my head, where people have told me, like, you're way too overconfident, or you just want attention, or friggin' I don't know, all these voices that hurt, you know. that just hurt. It's like, no, why can't I be confident? If that's going to help me live my day, like, be confident, be proud, like, be overly confident if that's what it helps to get through your day. Because I'm realizing slowly that I probably don't give myself enough credit for the things that I do, because other people in my life haven't given me enough credit for the things that I've done. I didn't get praise, approval, and admiration for being a straight A student, or any of the other things that I did when I was, growing up as a teenager or as a child. I didn't hear any of the good things. I just heard the bad things. I just heard about how I could be doing better. That's what it was. If I was mowing the lawn, it was telling me how I needed to mow the lawn straighter. Oh, you don't just mow the lawn like this, you mow the lawn like this. And whatever it was, if I was vacuuming, putting certain lines in the carpet, making sure that I did it that way, or, whatever it was, and I know that it was all done in love. I know that it was all just because someone saw the potential in me and saw that I could do it better, but not hearing, wow, that's awesome, I'm so proud of you. And then just holding back, letting it be unperfect for a little bit, and waiting maybe just even till next time to tell me. But like in that moment, just being proud of me, So this kind of turned into like a little, I don't know, vent session or whatever. But yeah, it's just doing that for myself now, because it wasn't done for me, and those aren't the voices that are in my head. I have to learn how to do that for me, because it's not like people are just standing around, thinking that you need to get praised, or thinking that I need to get praised. People look at me and they think like, oh my gosh, she's obviously confident, she's obviously attractive, she's fit, like she's got all this stuff going on, like she probably doesn't need to hear, all these things. But like, have you ever thought about like, maybe I am such a higher achiever because like I don't feel good enough, and I'm just trying to prove my worth to myself. Like, even when people compliment me or this or that, like, I know in my heart that, like, it's not good enough, because there's still someone out there that I'm trying to please, and I'm still trying to, like, prove my worth. And someday, I might not ever prove my worth to those people that I want to prove my worth to, and they might always find something wrong with me. Actually, they probably will. Learning to find worth in myself, and learning to find worth in how God views me. And if you don't believe in God, learning to find worth in who you are, and God being the greater thing inside of you, the just your worth, like finding, just meaning. I do have a lot of friends that like don't believe in God and aren't religious and this and that. And so it's interesting when I talk about, my religious views, or just even bring God into the picture at all. But so I want to be kind of sensitive to both areas. And there's definitely times where I struggle and I'm like, what if there isn't a God? But ultimately I've come down to the realization that for me personally, even if God ultimately isn't there in the end, believing in something more than myself helps me get through life better. It helps me have a more positive attitude. I do have to put off my perspective of God, that he's always wanting something perfect, that he's always wanting us to do it this way. And believe me, I have so many issues with religion and religion being used against people, because I've had religion used against me. I've had the Bible used against me. I've been beaten while someone was reading the Bible to me. So it's it's interesting. It's an interesting concept. So when people are like, yeah, go read the Bible, you're just not quoting scripture enough. I've had scripture quoted against me so much that just reading the Bible can be a trigger for me. So it's not that I don't continuously pray or that I'm in continuous conversation with God, because I do. I constantly am. But religious people out there are... I will say they're narrow-minded most of the time. Religion has been used against me and has controlled me for a lot of my life. So, letting you know that for those of you guys who don't believe in God or this or that, like, I feel you. I 100% feel you. For whatever your reason is, for just not even seeing that you could know if there's a God, or whatever your reasoning is for being raised religiously and having it used against you and it being a wicked thing. Totally get that. And then for all of you religious people, for you Christians or whatever religion you are, I want to let you know that, like, don't take offense when people, don't believe in God, or when they're going through their own journey differently than you. I know this totally became a rant about religion and God and stuff, but I guess that's where I'm going with this. And apparently I just need to get it out, and apparently someone needs to hear it, and whoever is listening in on this long of the video must find me interesting enough to listen, and must need to hear some of this. But yeah, for those of you religious people, I'm not saying to not encourage people to, like, go read the Bible or, like, listen to scriptures or this or that. Like, I still do those things, and that's still a part of my life. But I just want you guys to be sensitive to other people's situations. And so this is me opening up a little bit about my past and my history, and yeah, hopefully knowing that, like, in my history, I have been beaten while having scripture read to me. Or I've had scripture quoted to me all throughout my life, telling me that, I needed to honor them. And if you must not love me, this is the person talking, they, I would say I love you, and they'd be like, oh, you must not love me if you're doing this, this, or this, and it's like withholding love from me because, I wasn't doing what they wanted. Not that I was doing bad things at all, but, or if I was going through my own journey or processing thing, just having that love withheld. It does something to a person, to not feel loved, to not feel worthy. You're always trying to gain someone's approval. And when you can't do that, no matter what you do, because you cannot, live perfectly the way someone else wants you to, because they will always have different ideas than what you want to do. And even if you are trying to be 100% obedient, and you try to learn them and get into their mind and what would they want you to do, you can't live like that, because there's not supposed to be two of that person out there. There's supposed to be one of that person out there. There's supposed to be one of us out there. That's why we're here. You can't be the other person, and if that's what they want, they're taking away your agency. They're taking away you, and that's abusive. They're literally trying to get rid of you off the face of this earth because they want another them. So have that sink in there. And learn to love yourself. And if you need help, like, even knowing where to start with learning to love yourself, reach out to me, because I'm really good at calling things out in people, really good at calling good, unique things out. Not just like the stereotypical, like, oh, well, you're really good at, like, I don't know, whatever is on Facebook. But Like, I'll help you find what's worth loving in yourself. Because of my experiences, I've learned to love a lot of people. And a lot of people that are very broken, I've learned to love. And I can find goodness in every human being, actually. I really can. Whether they're murderers or sex offenders or whatever. So if you need help loving yourself, I'll be that person for you. And if you need to learn how to have more fun, or if you just even have ways to help me learn how to have fun, please drop comments. Because that's something that I'm still learning. I'm still learning to regain my silliness. I'm learning that it's okay to be weird, that it's okay to be silly. Whew. It's scary because of the rigid, regimented views that I've had to deal with of these people that were in my life. Yeah. It's hard. It's hard to process all that, and it's hard to combat it on a daily basis and a moment-to-moment basis. It's been hard to live. I have had to isolate, and that was needed in certain moments. Isolation is not always a bad thing. Sometimes it is needed for healing. Isolation is amazing when you're talking about muscles, when you're talking about building muscles. Isolation is key. When, you're talking about quarantining, right? Sometimes isolation is needed for rest and recovery and for self-reflection and for self-love in certain situations. So when people, say that like, oh, if your anxiety is making you isolate, or you're depressed and you need to isolate, sometimes that might be because God just wants time with you, or maybe just because you need time with you. And you need to find yourself. You need to love yourself. And that might be key. Because sometimes we don't believe. It doesn't matter how much other people are saying good things about us or bad things about us or whatever. We still need to have that time to reflect. So whatever it is that you're doing, whether you're isolating, whether you need attention, whether you need social comfort, whether you need freaking, I don't know, whatever it is that you feel like you need, realize that it's probably not a bad thing. It really probably isn't. Just learn to love yourself. And it's okay. Like, it's awesome. And it's okay. I don't know. It's okay. And you're not a bad person, and you're worthy of being loved. And this totally turned into a weird rant, and I'm saying this for those people who have felt hurting and broken like I've felt in my past. But I'm going to continue listening to my book because I want to learn more ways on bringing goofy things into my life and learning that it is okay to be ridiculous and have fun and just be ridiculous. And that it doesn't have to be a bad thing. It doesn't have to be, I don't know. I don't have to look down on those people that are ridiculous and silly and crazy, and that I can allow myself to do that too. So, if you see anything being posted, it's a little ridiculous or crazy or weird, just know that that's why I'm doing it. I'm just trying new things, learning to find a different part of myself, a part that's not so serious, that's not so high achieving or whatever. Because I'm stepping into a newer, higher achievement now with, just learning to love life. I'm trying to not be depressed, and I honestly think that this could be possible. So, I hope this helps some of you. Comment or not comment, whatever. Yeah. Thanks for listening if you did. And if you left early, well, hopefully you got what you needed to hear from this. All right. Thank you. And I'm going to thank myself right now, too. Thank you, Kayla, for believing in yourself and choosing life and happiness and love and choosing to realize that this life isn't always about you, and it's not always about other people either. Sometimes it can be about you, and sometimes it can be about other people. And the experiences that you go through can be used for other people's benefits, but that you don't have to push it on other people either. That you can just live life and share what you want to share, and that you can give that gift to other people to learn from you, because you are inspiring, and people do look up to you, and you do have a life that other people want, and you have a perception of yourself that other people wish that they could have, and you are now choosing to share with people how you've gotten there. And this is going to take vulnerability. But ultimately, if you believe that you really have something good, you will want to share it with people. And that's what I'm doing. I'm sharing it with people so that they can have what I have, because I'm choosing to love the life that I want, that I have. And I'm choosing to recognize how amazing of a person I am. So, Kayla, you're amazing. You're beautiful. You are loved. You are lovely. And you're a damn good worker. And you're super athletic. And what else? I don't know. You're cute. And what else? I like this. I'm going to positively just keep going about myself. Your feet are cute. My hands are cute too. I grew up hating my hands, by the way. I grew up hating my hands and hating my feet, and anyways, I just need to do this. Maybe I need to like have a whole different thing about just like saying all these great things about myself every day. I like that. That would be a good thing. And saying it so that other, like, I don't know, just saying it out loud. Saying it out loud and in front of people so that they know that they can say those things about themselves too. And sometimes it's okay to say things that are good about yourself even before you believe them about yourself. Because it's okay to know something and not believe it. And it's okay to believe something and not feel it. And it's okay to know something and not feel it too. So I know every day that I'm beautiful, but I don't feel beautiful every day. Or just different things like that. But anyways, I'm going to leave this with you guys. Hopefully you get something out of it. And hopefully you don't think I'm crazy. Because that's always a fear that I have. Yeah, I have a fear of people thinking that I'm mental and that I don't deserve to be in this life. Because a lot of people have tried to take me out of this life, actually, including myself, or who have tried to lock me away or put me in a mental institution or hospital or whatever. Or who've tried to control me with drugs or physical actions or mental and emotional controlling. And I'm learning how to get free of it. I'm learning to view myself as a lovable human being who is amazing, not because of anything, But just because I'm a freaking human being. And human beings are amazing. We all are. So I'm going to step into that. So have a good day. I know I'm going to try to. Bye.